All right, today we are doing an install on this system right here. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this outdoor unit and get the new one set in while I got a little bit of shade right here. I'm going to show you guys the process of that, how I do it at least. I'm not saying that my way, there's always bees nest in here. I was not expecting that to fall. But anyways, I'm not saying my way is the right way, but in my opinion, it's the best way and the right way, so. We're gonna start off by pumping the system down. I'm not sure if there's any refrigerant in here because it does have a leak. So we're gonna check that. Oh man, it's pretty much empty. No, it's got some in there. Not much. I don't know if y'all can see this. Let's see. We want to make sure this reversing valve is energized. Because this system energizes the reversing valve in AC mode. I left my pump down tool in my van and that's 4 stories down, so I'm going to use an Allen wrench set to close my valves. We're going to close our liquid valve first. We're going to shut this liquid valve all the way. This is a 6-year-old Goodman apartment style. The outdoor model is a GSZ, and the indoor is a AWUF wall hanging air handler. And we're swapping it to a Carrier because that's what we install day in and day out. On the vapor side, which is this big line, this big copper line, we're gonna close it off maybe about 75%. Should be that one. These are standard, the Allen wrench sizes are standard. And normally I have a wrench that I use, but I don't feel like walking down 4 flights of stairs. I've already done it twice. It would be quicker if I had the right tool though. All right, we just close it all the way. We're gonna open it just a couple turns. And I can do this one or two ways. I can push this contactor in, but honestly, I'm just gonna see if I can put a jumper on. Well, actually, I'm just gonna push a contactor in. See if I can see this. Let me straddle this thing. Well, this low side's dropping. We want to try to get it all the way to 0. I don't know if it will do it or not, but we'll see. So far, so good. It does have a low pressure switch, so it could cut out. Come on. We're almost there. We're at 6. Three. One PSI. Zero. So we just close it all the way now. Now it's closed. Next, we're going to kill the power right here. There's a disconnect behind me. And we want to verify power is dead. And it is. There's no refrigerant left in here. So we're going to disconnect the ground wire, and this is my incoming power. You guys probably can't see it, but it's just 3 lugs. You get your 2 hots, because this is 230 volts, and a ground. And it has a little nut right here that attaches this conduit into the condenser. And we're going to put this nut back on so we don't lose it. I'm gonna move this conduit out of the way for now. Next is your low voltage. I'm gonna redo all this. I'm just gonna cut it because we're gonna re-strip all these wires and get some new copper connections. Alright, so all my electrical is loose. We're going to be brazing these copper lines in, but we need to get clean copper. So before I cut this copper, I like to go ahead and sand it down so we have clean copper and we don't get some dust inside this copper pipe while we're sanding it down. Now we got some clean copper, so whenever we start brazing, it's clean. And now we're ready to cut this loose. Alright, we're cut loose now, so we can move this out of the way. Clean up some of this stuff. I'm gonna have to add some copper because these come out at a 45, so it's a little bit different than this one, which is fine. On these carriers, you want to always make sure this piston is right here. So I gotta go grab my copper benders and some pipe. And we can actually move this pad over some to help with some room. Size is that? We're going to swedge this suction line. I'm going to remove this plastic O-ring so whenever I braze it, it doesn't melt it. Try and get that to stay so it's not turning on me. Now, typically I like to put these dryers inside, but on this one we're going to put it outside because inside there's really nowhere to add it. It's so tight. It comes right out of the roof, right out of the ceiling, right into the air handler, and I've only got about 6 inches of room between where the line set comes in and the we're gonna swedge this too, where the line set comes in and the where it connects to the unit. This is a filter dryer. Pretty much what it does is, if there's ever any moisture, I mean, I'm gonna evacuate this very well, but moisture or anything that is foreign that it should catch before it makes it into the TXV. We're just swedging it, so I can get a piece of copper in here. All right, I'm gonna go grab some copper. I'll be right back. All right. So we're gonna bend this copper to a 45-degree angle. So we're gonna end up cutting both of these pieces of copper. I'm marking on my copper where I'm cutting it. Taking my sandpaper. And cleaning that copper. Just like that. this piece of trash. Take our deburring tool. Now, if you're burying a piece of copper that is vertical, we don't want to get shavings inside that copper. Like, you can see these little shavings. So I'd rather you not burr it than get copper shavings inside the pipe. We're going to deburr this suction line. And this 5/8 will fit right into this 3/4 inch pipe. we always remove the Schrader valves because they will melt if you don't. This is Viper wet rag heat blocking putty. We're going to protect these valves for when I put a torch on this. I also put them on my dryers, put the putty on my dryer to help protect the paint from corrosion. And we're gonna start flowing nitrogen wherever my gauges are. About to run out of acetylene. See if we can get this brazed in. Okay, too close to my pipe. All of our brace joints look good. All right, so next, we're gonna put an O-ring back in. Put it right there. I like to use some nylon. Never had a problem with any of these threaded fittings ever leaking, but I would rather be safe than sorry. The only thing nylon is essentially dehydrated POE oil, which is the oil that consists, or it's the oil that's in the refrigerant that we use. So if it gets into the system, it just turns to oil. I gotta get some insulation for this pipe. I don't have any in my van, so that'll be the last thing that I do today once I get this AC system started up. Let's wire it in. Next, Creep Puff is going to have to send me some wire strippers. This is what I'm working with. Yeah, these tools feel really durable. Got a flathead for our ground lug. They feel really good on the hands. On these carriers, they use black as common. Hello? So next, we're going to pressure test this system. Probably going to use every bit of nitrogen that we have. We're going to put our liquid line Schrader back in. Now, I will say that my manifold does leak out this side glass area. It's a very slow leak. We're gonna put like 300 PSI on this thing. My GoPro battery just died, but as I was saying, my manifold does have a really slow leak on the sight glass, so we don't hold pressure. But I have a guy downstairs on the unit that we just brazed in the closet, and he doesn't hear anything. I don't hear anything out here. We got 317 PSI on this unit. We are dropping, but this manifold leaks, so I'm gonna put a vacuum pump on it. We're gonna let out the nitrogen that's inside the system. And I'm gonna go ahead and push the rest of the nitrogen that is inside this bottle, because it's not much. I'm gonna push it through because we are using the old line set. And what we're doing is we're getting any kind of oil that may be left in this line, which there really shouldn't be any. I'm not seeing any evidence of that, or moisture. I'm just really making use of our nitrogen because I'm gonna go change it out because we're getting ready to go to lunch when there's a vacuum pump on the system. All right, the nitrogen is out, so we're gonna put our Schrader back in. We're gonna put some Nylog on this service port for our vacuum. We put our micron gauge furthest away from the vacuum. We pray that this outlet works. This is the Apion 1/2 inch. It's got a 1/4 inch port that goes onto your Apion tool. We had the suction Schrader removed. And then the 3/8 that goes to your vacuum pump. Goes right here. We've had this hose for a couple years now and it's held up just fine. All right, let's see if it works. Let's go. I gotta get some Armaflex for that line set insulation. So we're gonna go to lunch, let this thing cool down. Want to make sure we are pulling down. Yeah, we're already at 641 microns. So I'm gonna close this ballast. And we're gonna go to lunch. We are back from lunch. So we're gonna see what this vacuum's doing, do a decay test. 104 microns. So we're going to shut our ball valve right here. Shut the one on our vacuum pump. And turn our pump off. And hit start. And we want to stay below 500 microns for 10 minutes. That's our goal. So it's been almost 14 minutes and we're at 142 microns. So we are completely dehydrated. Our system's ready to start up. So we're going to open up the liquid. We're going to open up the liquid service valve first. We're going to put this Schrader in. Now we're ready to start it up. We're gonna open up our vapor side. All right. We're gonna start her up. Turn it on. Plug it in. gonna bleed these hoses. Today is July the 30th, so that's our startup date. This system needs to run for about 15 plus minutes, maybe more like 30 minutes to equalize or stabilize on the pressures and temperatures. So we're gonna we've been running for about 35 minutes now on the docks, and it's 73 degrees inside. It calls for a 6-degree subcooling at about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So we are pretty close. I'm not going to touch it right now because it's kind of going between 5 and 8. And it just turned off on me. I think we're good. So I'm gonna go to my supplier, get some pipe insulation, insulate that vapor line, the suction line, and the purpose of that is so we're not gaining heat because the sun's beating down on this copper pipe, and I will gain some heat, so that will lose some efficiency. So we're going to insulate this and then tape this thermostat wire to that pipe insulation. But yeah, guys, hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment, tell me what I did wrong, tell me what you would have done differently. Tell me, guys, what you think. And I appreciate all of you. I don't have many install videos that I put out there, and we do a lot of them. I mean, I do a lot of installs. They just get so repetitive that you know, I think it's boring content. But there's one. It's a pretty good one for y'all to see. I think it went pretty smoothly.